Welcome to AlbertRHartley.com. Today we're going to talk about the Volcker Rule. I know that sounds so kind of vulgar. The Volcker Rule. There's an article about it in the Wall Street Journal. And listen, if you're just a regular dude working, 80 hours a week trying to pay your mortgage and take care of your child support and stuff like that, this doesn't seem like a big deal to you. It doesn't matter. But in reality, what I want to do is talk about what the Volcker Rule is, why it's important for you, and what Congress needs to do about it. The Volcker Rule is based off of Paul Volcker, who was an economist, okay? And the bottom line is to say, listen, we do not want banks and certain financial institutions to invest in risky stocks and bonds. Well, this became a real big issue in the late 80s with the savings and loans crisis. It became a big issue again in the 2008 financial collapse. And I'll give you a perfect example. Gateway Bank, which is a bank in North Carolina, invested a lot of their money in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac stock, almost 80% of their investing cash. And that's went into the toilet, and then therefore they came in regulators. So what does this mean for you guys? When you go to the bank, you think, okay, I'm putting my paycheck in the bank, it's secure, it's safe. Well, what the bank sees that is the potential to loan that out about 10 times based on whatever the deposits they have on hand. The Volcker Rule says, listen, you cannot take your cash and invest that to where you're putting yourself at risk as a banking institution, because the purpose of a bank is to have solid, predictable security. Well, that's all changed now because every bank out there is involved in insurance, they're involved in mortgages, they're involved in investments. So the Volcker Rule says you can't do it. Well, Congress, in their infinite wisdom, says, yeah, we just don't know if that rule needs to be so definitive. We think it should be a little bit more, healthy for the banks. So guess who they've asked to put the rule in place? They've asked the banks to help define the rule. So that is sort of the wolf guarding the hen house. The reason this is important for you guys is because when you put your paychecks in the bank, you expect those paychecks to be there. Well, they've had a lot of bank foreclosures because of these types of risky investments. So you need to call your congressman, you need to tell your congressman and senator to put this Volcker Rule in place, and if they don't do it, you need to start voting them out, because these guys are just letting the 1% kill you guys. So remember, every time you put your check in the bank, you want to make sure it's still there. Well, if you're going to do that, you need to have this rule put in place. That's the Volcker Rule. Call your congressman and senator and let them do something about it. Thanks a lot.